Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Metaphysical Chat live in September. I would have said first Monday, but we're already past that. As you probably know, we postponed our first Monday because last Monday we were a little bit busy with Psychothon. And I want to thank all of you who participated. It was a fabulous experience, although exhausting. We raised a lot of money and a lot of goodwill, met a lot of friends, and I think a lot of you met some new people that were kind of interesting to you too. So I'm really excited. If you're here, put me a comment in out there and let me know you're here and say hello. I see Craig stopped by at 7:30. I don't know if you're still here, Craig, but thanks for being here. Okay, well, let me bring up another screen where maybe I can see what's going on because I just have the back end open here right now. So let's see what I can find that might be helpful. Hey, there you are. Now I see you. Hi, Susan. And there you are, Craig. Great to see you. Okay, I just wanted to validate that I wasn't here alone. I wasn't making things up. Hey, Jen, welcome. Thanks for being here. So as you know, some of you anyway, I'm playing with StreamYard, trying to get comfortable with it. So it's still a little awkward for me, but I will get there eventually. Hi, Alice, Letty. Oh, hang on, gotta mute that. My screen is going crazy. Not getting what I'm looking for. There we go. I unmuted in case you were trying to read my lips. I just muted to get rid of the other screen. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Not. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Anyway, been a crazy day. Did any of you hear all these psychics talking about some big portal thing happening today, 9/9? You know, I was about halfway through the day when I realized, oh, something was supposed to happen today, but I don't know what it was. And what I noticed, communication problems like crazy. People were misunderstanding. I wasn't getting my point across. And that reminded me of something that comes up when I do soul introduction readings. There is a block in the throat chakra that can cause you to not be able to get your point across. So I did a quick little clearing before I came on to clear up my chakras and hopefully get rid of all of that because I want you guys to understand me. That's the whole point of being here. And I don't know if you read the newsletter or not, but I mentioned in the newsletter tonight, before we go into Q&A, I'm going to share with you a triple layer message that I got just a few days ago. It was first Archangel Raziel came in, then it was Divine Feminine, and then it was Metatron. And the big overriding message is about great hope for the future. So I'm really excited to share that with you because we really need that right now. I know a lot of people are nervous about tomorrow and the debate and all sorts of things. And then there are other people who are just like, oh, please stop talking to me about politics. And they addressed that in the message too, which is really fascinating because you wouldn't expect angels to get involved in politics. And yet they are because we're involved in it. And we've got to figure out how to find that place of balance. It's just part of our lives. Maureen, you've been moody and migraines. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, let's just send you some love and light. Send some healing energy to Maureen. Wipe away the quagmire, the moodiness, the headaches. Clear that all up for her so that she feels refreshed and able to focus on the messages that you're sharing tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. C'est la vie, I'm so glad that you watched and you enjoyed it. Susan, you're not nervous because it's Kamala. Yeah. Sorry, Kamala. I am still trying to get that. Not doing that on purpose at all. It's just, you say it for so long one way and then you find out you've been saying it wrong all along and now you got to fix it. Just quickly scrolling through to see if I missed any acknowledgements that I need to recognize. Oh, Lady Silver, you need to email me. You want a prize. You want a giveaway, and I didn't know how to get in touch with you, so please send me an email, answers@akashaunleashed.com, and we'll hook you up with your prize. And Charlie C., I hope you got your prize. Janet, makes sense now. You've been having communication problems today, too. I don't It will be interesting to see if anybody else wants to weigh in. Is that what you're experiencing today, communication problems? Because I tell you, it was so peculiar. I was on a call with all these people, and I was trying to explain to them about the cloak of invisibility that has so tormented so many light workers. And when I talk to you guys about it, you seem to know what I'm talking about. But boy, they just did not get it at all. They thought I was talking about, being one of the white-haired Americans who just is invisible. And no, it's not that. It's different. It's being seen as the light worker doing the work that you're here in the world to do, being recognized and being able to be successful and fulfilled. And those blocks that happen because of the cloak of invisibility. Hey, Marby, welcome. Jen, your stomach's been in knots, terrible nausea. We're going to do a group prayer before we dive into the message. So let's focus on that as well, getting all those kinks out of the bodies, relaxing and free breathing, allowing you to really breathe deeply and to let go of all of that stuff because you just don't need it. Many of you've had low energy. Mark, Diana, you also had migraine? Yeah. So there's something intense. And I did hear one person talking about solar flashes maybe being to blame. I don't know if that's true. Normally, I'm not really aware of those things, but because people were talking about it, I focused, and then I noticed a repetition of this communication problem. So, it got my attention. Craig, you say there were a lot of people tuned into the show? Yeah, according to my analytics, there were almost 26,000. That's why, as I wrote to you, I was disappointed because 26,000 people and less than 300 decided to participate by making some kind of a donation. And really, $5 is enough. It's just to make your stand, put your stake in the ground and say, I'm here to save democracy. That's really what it was about. The numbers of people rather than the numbers of the money. But of course, if a lot of those people also gave $5, that would have boosted us way over the 10,000 mark. So we are going to be doing a part 2. For those of you who don't get my newsletter, you really should sign up because you're missing it all. But I talked about how there is going to be a part 2, probably the end of September, and it will be 11 hours because that's an angel number. Now, I did not know this. The angels sprung this on me after the fact, the day after sleeping for 12 hours. They told me, oh, you're just getting started. There's more work to do. In fact, there's going to be a part 3. So lots more to come. Stay tuned for all of that. Hey, Eileen, great to see you. Melinda, glad you could be here. Oh, no, headaches, more headaches. Maureen, you managed 10 hours. That is amazing. Yes, Craig, they can still donate to that address. Thank you for reminding me. I will pop that up and pin it for you. That address is good until Election Day. I made a big deal with the campaign. You cannot take that link down until after Election Day because whether it's $5 or $50,000, we are going to keep doing what we can to fundraise between now and Election Day. Our job is not done until Election Day. So let's see. Where do I do that? It's supposed to let me pin it to the top. Oh, I bet I have to do that on the YouTube side. Hang on. That's a good reason for having that window open. Okay. So there it is at the very top of chat, you guys. That's the donation link. You can use that anytime. You can share it. Hey, Beth, so glad you could make it. Melanie, the angels indeed have me busy. And I had to laugh at them because if they had told me about this big plan from the beginning, I probably would have been just too stunned and afraid to do anything. But you know how tricky they are, sneaky, one step at a time until you get there. Yes, Sharon Sipes is indeed the champion moderator. I'm still hoping to hear from Sharon. I would love to get an email and connect with her and just let her know how grateful I am. And she won a prize. I'd like to get her prize too. All right, you guys. So looks like we got a little breather here. The comments are slowing down. Let's stop and do our prayer. I don't want to forget that. And then, as I said, I will dive into delivering the triple layered message for you. And please post your questions along the way while I'm delivering the message. Then when I finish the message, I will backtrack and go through all of your questions because I want to be sure you fully get the message. It's very deep and it's very applicable, timely. So all of that stuff rolled into one. All right, so take a couple of deep breaths. Whew. Close your eyes. Let's just settle in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All that is. Our divine angel teams, Creator, Metatron, Raziel, Divine Feminine. Thank you for being there, for never letting us down, always being present when we reach out and call. Thank you for the clarity, for the wisdom, for the encouragement, the cheerleading that you bring to us when we need it, in our low moments and in our high moments as you celebrate with us. We are so grateful. Thank you for bringing all that beautiful energy tonight into this circle, that we might all feel that energy as we rise up, as we metaphorically levitate together, feeling the potency of that energy and what it can and is doing in our lives as we navigate the stormy seas and the blustery winds of September. We are so grateful to you for all that you do, you have done, and you will do in the future. To all of you for being here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful to all of you. Every single one of you, your energy brings something special, gigantic, important, and magnificent to our circle. It is so profound, I don't have words for it. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the teams, and onward we go. Okay, so before we go to the message, anything else? Richard, Metatron using the solfeggio frequency. Is there a way that past traumas can be released without remembering them? What frequency is best? Is there a hertz that you recommend? So, let's just ask. So Metatron, is it important or useful to use the solfeggio? Hope I got that right. Solfeggio frequency. Is that important for Richard to use that frequency meditation? Is that helpful? If you like it, do it, Richard, but there's nothing particularly more powerful about that one than any other. So anyone that resonates with you, great, use it. It'll help you. And what about releasing past traumas without remembering them? Yes, in some cases you can do that. However, for the greater well-being, it can be more powerful to learn the story, not to wallow in the trauma, but just to understand how it started, because you will notice that it has resonance with the present. And that's important for you to identify so that you know what you're clearing up, because those repeating patterns will just be there until we clear them. So yes, but sometimes some traumas really need a little more probing to find out what they're all about. And then what happens in your Akashic records is it's like editing the little bits on the platter of a hard drive. So you go in and you edit out just the trauma, but you leave the lesson because you don't want to forget the lesson. So that's how they've explained it. All right, so hang on, everybody else, with your questions. I'm going to start in with the message for you tonight. And as I said, please put your questions in chat while I'm reading you the messages so that we can go back and get those questions. I want to make sure that you really understand it. But it's very powerful what they had to share for tonight. Okay, so this is Raziel beginning, Archangel Raziel. He's the alchemist, if you're not familiar with him. Very powerful angel and a good one to have on your side. So I was asking, do they have any feedback, any follow-up for me after Psychathon, and also about where we're going forward. And then this big message came through that was clearly for everybody. So Raziel says, of course, there can always be improvements, but given the circumstances, you get an A+, and that's in reference to the Psychathon. We all get an A+ for our efforts, what we brought to the equation. We can do better, but it was a darn good start. So it is our wish that you continue raising awareness and money, more awareness in these times. The spiritual must step into the political arena. Cannot be ignored, lest you risk losing your dream of Earthtopia. So he's talking about, all the people who say, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear from the political stuff. And they're saying, you can't ignore it. It's woven into your life. It's affecting you whether you're choosing to engage or not. So you might as well engage in an empowered way thoughtfully, purposefully, and that's what the angels are helping us with. Politics does rule your world. You cannot escape it no matter how hard you might try or wish to avoid the topic. Avoid it at your own peril. You must be in harmony with the processes of your world, and a big process is politics. You might think of it like the clutch in a car. So anybody who's ever driven a stick shift, you will get this immediately. And if you haven't, just try and imagine it. So you might not like the clutch, but you can't shift the car unless you use the clutch. Well, caveat, except for those few talented people who know how to skip the clutch. And I think they're referring to the ultra rich who know how to break the rules, right? For regular people, if you've got a manual transmission, you must find harmony, balance, and comfort with using the clutch. Shifting at the right times up and at the right times down. Regulating your journey, for it is not one speed. It changes depending on outside circumstances as well as your personal circumstances. In this time and this place, those who choose to remove themselves from political responsibility and conversation are abdicating their rights. They are placing themselves at the mercy of the masses who may be traveling in an entirely different direction. Never suppose that your single vote and your single voice does not matter, for that is not true. We assure you, it matters greatly, particularly when your voice is raised from a place of spiritual wisdom and divine love, rather than anger, bitterness, retribution, bigotry, and hate. You know this deep in your soul. Now is the time to step up to a greater level of spiritual responsibility, for it all matters. Now is the time when it matters the most. Until recent times, you've been in dress rehearsal. Now you're taking part in the actual performance. Miss your chance now, and you may not get another like this for many lifetimes. And you knew this when you incarnated. You chose to be here at this time for this reason, so that you could make your voice heard and your vote count. For your own sake, we urge you, step up. Say your piece. Make your voice and your wishes heard and known. Now is not the time to shirk or to shrink. Stand fiercely in divine love, truth, and light, knowing that you carry the standard as evidence to the world, making your mark, expressing your intentions. And in the doing, you may give others the courage to stand up and also share. Millions of voices and intentions joined together is what it will take to see you to victory, to Earthtopia. For the old ways will be washed away. Those who are left behind will experience a new era of peace, joy, and love. That is the reward that awaits for all of your efforts over these many lifetimes. We promise you this is true, and it can be your reality. If you choose to stand now, plant your flag in the ground, declare your intentions, do all in your power to win the day for spiritual expansion, love, and peace. The world, she is a-changin'. You can flow along with her, or you can stand in the shadows cowering in fear, missing your chance for the glorious fulfillment of the prophecy. Don't be on the outside looking in. We beseech thee, jump in with both feet. Be a part of this great transformation to Earthtopia. Go in peace, with love, with our heartfelt gratitude for all that you have contributed and all that you will. Thank you for answering the call and stepping up when you were asked. Hold on to this knowingness of how wonderful it feels when you answer the call, so that the next time the call comes, you will meet it with eagerness, with dedication, with excitement and determination to do everything in your power to bring what is needed at that time. As you fulfill your role of transforming the world to a new golden age where peace and love rule the day, the era. And that was the end of Razi's message. Let me just get a quick drink and we're going to dive into Divine Feminine's message. This is Divine Feminine now speaking. My children, we are so grateful and proud of you for taking a stand for democracy, for bringing divine feminine wisdom and love, for putting it back on the table, no longer to be subjugated by the divine masculine. For too long, they have led you in the wrong direction until greed, corruption, hate, and bigotry infected your world. And that infection runs deep. But we promise you, divine love is the antidote. As you now flood your world with divine love, intention, and understanding of your part in this new creation, your world will rapidly change when you apply divine love, intention, and follow through. Change can occur at the speed of light. Of course, the dark forces will still push back, and of course, they will prevent you from making the change as rapidly as you desire. However, you stand firm in your faith and trust that you have what it takes. We promise that you do. Bring it. Bring it, baby, bring it. The certainty that you are living your divine purpose, that you are changing the world for the better, that this is your time. This is your moment. Lift up your voices together in joy and celebration of the power that you now bring to clean up the mess, to reconstitute, to refresh, to regenerate, as together with Gaia, you transform your world. Listen to the birds singing with joy as they witness your triumph. Listen to the animals heaving a big sigh of relief that at last, at long last, you've come to your senses and are ready to live in harmony and peace, bringing forth a new era of prosperity, abundance, love, acceptance, and a recognition of crone wisdom. The crones amongst you have long prepared for this time, gathering their wisdom, honing their patience, expanding their hearts, and understanding of what is expected of them in your new world. In return, you will honor and respect them. You will consider their wisdom. You may not always agree, and that is fine, but give them a chance to share what they have learned with you before you rashly go out and trip yourself up, falling back into old habits. For shoes that are beautifully balanced and tied can untangle and turn into a mess that will trip you up if they are not properly cared for, kept in balance, and maintained. You don't tie them once and forget about them. You watch to make sure they stay tied in perfect balance and harmony. Adjustments must be made depending on terrain, depending on activity, depending on outside events. Just as your journey through this life must be adjusted to match the challenges that come. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You must nurture your new world so that you can sustain it for future generations and for yourself. Your effort will be rewarded with satisfaction of what you have created, with your own personal abundance, peace, and joy, as you bask in gratitude for what you've created together and separately. Know that we are pleased with your efforts, and we watch in great anticipation for your victory, which is to come. And in short order, we might add, never give up. We are with you every step of the way. Do not trouble yourself over technicalities, such as adapting to the new way that time flows. You'll get your sea legs soon enough. Hang in there. Hold on to your angels. Keep moving. It will all be sorted out with time and patience. Diligence may be your watchword through this present journey. Be diligent. Keep showing up. Keep doing what you are led and what you feel good about doing. Hold on to your vision of peace, love, and joy for all. Flow through your days, knowing the prophecy is being fulfilled. You're closer than ever, and you can feel the changes. There will be more. Adjust as you need to stay upright and keep moving. You have an endless supply of stamina from divine. Tap into it when you need it. Your well will never run dry, but you do have to ask for refills. When you feel depleted, ask divine to top you up to overflowing and keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Now is not the time to stop. Do not let yourself be sidetracked by feelings of overwhelm, depression, or the voices that whisper the lie that you're going to lose. As long as you show up and do your part, you will not lose. So you see, it's up to you, each one of you, Stand your ground. Claim your victory. Celebrate together as you transform the world. The entire world we're talking about, not just your part of it. This transformation is on a scale larger than you've ever seen. It is coming. Thank you for listening, divine children. Now, part 3 from Metatron. He begins a little unusual for him, but I guess because he was coming in after the other two. I, Metatron, have a few things to say. Gracious thanks and gratitude to all who answered the call to step up when the opportunity presented itself in your recent psychathon. You are all a part of something greater than this one simple event. You put yourself on the map as warriors of Metatron, willing to go the distance to transform your world. I, Metatron, have so much love and respect for you, for your sacrifices, for your love, your intention, your actions, for not standing by and waiting for someone else to do the work. You stepped up. You did the work. You are my heroes. I wish I could say the work was done. However, we all know that's not true. But be of good cheer, beloved children. You have made great progress, and you will notice your progress speeds up as we move forward in this time of ascension, for that is as it needs to be. You may feel as if you're getting the bum's rush. Hold on to your hat. It's not going to slow down, but you are ready. Make whatever adjustments you need to make to keep up. Ask your angels to give you a boost. Whatever you need, they will bring to you. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep singing. Keep loving. Keep shining your bright light upon the world. You are seen. You are heard. You are felt by divine, and so very loved and appreciated. My heart is full with love for you, my children. I know that it was not easy. I've seen your struggles. I've seen your efforts. I've seen how hard it has been for you to stay the course. Nothing goes unnoticed by your team. Every thought, every moment is recorded in your records for all time. We see you. We see the true you. We know you. We love you. We support you. Just as we gather together in a big circle, dancing, singing, and celebrating your triumph, because it needs to be celebrated. It's important that you celebrate. Celebrate the wins and learn from the losses. There's a lesson in everything. And no matter how downtrodden you may feel, for we see you. We see those of you who feel powerless, overwhelmed, unable to take action. And we tell you this truth. No matter how far down you feel you have sunk, all you need to do is reach up. Find one small thing to be grateful for. The sun came up. You woke up. You can breathe. You have people who love you, and you have a legion of angels, masters, guides, and enlightened beings who love and support you from the other side. You have so much to be grateful for, but reach for one small thing. Start there. Allow gratitude to flood your being and make you feel just the tiniest bit better. Then reach for something else to be grateful for. Feel that blissful energy flooding your being, lifting you up so that you can see the next level of gratitude. Keep doing that until you pull yourself out of that dark hole. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in the blink of an eye. But when you put in the effort, we will assist to accelerate whatever we can. But you have to take the action. You have to ask for help. And you can transform your life. It doesn't have to be dark, depressing, and hopeless. You may not like to hear it, but that is a choice. If you are choosing to stay there, it is your choice. We cannot pull you out without your assistance and your request. Please ask us. We desperately want to help you out. There is great hope for you. Once you set your feet back on the path with your angels at your side, searching for gratitude and allowing it to lift you up, to heal you, to give you greater vision and purpose, that is all possible and waiting. And for those of you who are already on your path experiencing the bliss, we salute you, whichever way that is. We are happy and proud, privileged to stand at your side. So shall it ever be. No one is left out unless they choose to be. Join us today, won't you? Let's hasten down the path towards Earthtopia. Amen and amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Raziel, Divine Feminine, and Metatron. We so appreciate and love you for your guidance, your wisdom. Okay, so let's put that aside. All right, let's scroll back now and find out what questions you have about the messages. Here we go. Eileen, bring that question back to me after we go through the Q&A about the message, will you? And then we'll talk about that, okay? That's your medical test that you asked about. Hey, Sister of Six, glad to see you. She can find a way to ask it metaphysically, Debbie, and we'll take care of it. It's a good lesson in reaching out and asking your angels for help, truly, because that's exactly what you've got to do. Don't wait, don't worry, don't fret yourself into that place of darkness and despair. Reach out, grab an angel hand, and let them just lift you up over, fill you with confidence, banishing the fear, knowing that they've got you every step of the way. Thank you for the big hug, Alice. We all appreciate that. You asked, do you need to know the names of your guides to make the connection stronger? No, you absolutely do not need to know their names. In fact, they prefer not to give names because they don't have egos and they don't need to be acknowledged on a personal basis. So you can just talk to them generically. They are happy as long as you talk to them. But if you do want to use a name, make one up. They're happy to do that too. And then sometimes people will ask for a name and they will offer one, but always reluctantly. They really don't like to do that. Teresa, you can shift without a clutch. Well, you must be one of those rich, privileged people then, right? Just teasing you. Yeah. Most people can't shift without the clutch, if they even know how to use a clutch. So many people today have probably never driven a stick shift. But boy, do I remember that vividly. Yeah, you guys, your questions here that aren't about the message, can you post them again below? And that way I won't have to scroll back and forth. I want to keep going and get to the questions about the message first, and then we will go on and get all your other questions. Mousy, you're lurking. That's perfectly fine. Lurk away. Whatever you need to do to feel confident, comfortable, and be here. Share Spirit, I'm so glad you made it. Please do yourself the favor of go back and listen to the beginning because you want to hear all those messages that were channeled for us for tonight. They don't normally give me such an in-depth message like that in between the monthly forecast. So obviously it was important. And that's why I wanted to be sure and give it to you tonight live rather than doing it in a recorded format. Because I think when I do it recorded, you don't get as much of the energy and intention as you do when you just listen to the recording. I know it's easy to tune out. You don't get all the details, which is the other reason that I publish it on Medium, because then you can also read it. So it's not on Medium yet, but it will be, and I'll get you the link for that next Sunday in my newsletter. Debbie, so glad you could make it. Kamala winning is connected to Earthtopia arriving sooner. Not exactly total connection, but yes, that's what they're saying. They're saying that because of the energy that she brings of saving democracy, because if the other option happens, that's going to take America on a huge detour, which has a big dark effect on the rest of the world, takes us right off course for Earthtopia. So having democracy saved, whether it's Kamala or someone else saving it, democracy being saved is what's important. We're not attaching names to that specifically, but you get that message because we want people to get the understanding out there. This is not a tribal thing. It's not one party against the other. It's democracy versus autocracy, versus a dictatorship, versus theocracy. Democracy is the only path that we want. That one takes us forward in love and light so that we can transform the world. If we miss the boat on this, we go the wrong way and things are going to go bad in a hurry. So I hope that answers your question. It's not exactly a clear yes, but it is a yes, if that makes sense. Hard to explain. You need a lot of boost, Melody. Yeah. Go grab them. They're there for you. Okay, well, I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought. You didn't have that many questions about the message, so everybody understood it? That's great. So I'll just scroll back then. Okay, so Alice, I'll come back to you then after I go back up and get these others. So Mountain Dancer, you came in late. You'll have to go back. Yeah, definitely. You want to hear those 3 channeled messages. They're very deep and profound. Jen, you resonated with the messages. You've been working with your tools and you needed to hear it. I'm so glad. And that's why they share it, because even if it was just you, Jen, that needed to hear it, they would do that for you. Is that not amazing? And everybody else would benefit too, because when they give us messages like this, they're always multi-purpose. They always resonate with more than one person. It's just magical and marvelous how they're able to do that. Always astounds me. So, Eileen, you always put into chat, you're sending positive white light to the guides for the good of the world. Does it help when others read it? Let's ask that question. I know it, so I don't need to hear it. I don't know if other people do. So let's just ask. So when Eileen puts her message about positive white light for everybody, is that helpful to the participants? Yes, there are some that it who need to hear it. Yeah. And besides which, Eileen, it's done with love and positive intentions, and that's never wrong. So as long as you're coming from that place of love, you just put out there what you feel led to share. All right, now let me scroll back up and find those questions we missed. And meanwhile, you guys can be adding more to the bottom. So the people who came in late, we were talking earlier about problems with communication, which may or may not be connected to this 9-9 portal that some people have been talking about. So if you've also experienced communication problems like being misunderstood, not getting your point across, let us know in chat, because it would be really good to find out how many people were affected that way by it. And if there was something else that you noticed that was off or different about today, let us know that too, because the more information we have, the better able we are to then distill it and figure out exactly what this is all about. And if there is a greater lesson, maybe we'll get it that way. And the low energy. So Minnie was feeling low energy. Is that connected to the 9-9 portal? No, that's connected to the bigger shift that's going on, Minnie. Right now, with the acceleration, there's just been a really huge boost. And as we are being pushed to move faster than we're used to moving, that can be exhausting because there's drag on our bodies. You know, in some way, it's like somebody comes up behind you and you're on skis and they're pushing you to give you a boost. Well, if you weren't ready for that, your reflex is going to be to dig your heels down and stiffen up, resisting the push because you weren't expecting it. So it's like that. Even though we don't want to be in resistance, our reflexive action is to go in resistance. So when you feel that drag and you start to feel that exhaustion, relax. Breathe, relax, allow. Get into the flow energy. Just allow yourself to flow with it, no struggle. Do some meditation if you can. Even 2 to 5 minutes is helpful. And get back into that flow energy. You'll feel so much better. And I'm sure that also would have something to do with the migraines because, you know, it's like this big whoosh that just came in, grabbed you up like the blustery winds of September, you know, pushing you out of your comfortable spot, making you regroup and regain your balance, all that's associated with that. And you're struggling with severe pain from trigeminal Algeria. I'm so sorry. We will send angel, love, light, and healing from all of us to you for comfort, for peace, for relaxation of your body. soothing and smoothing those nerve endings, singing to the nerve endings so they stretch, unkink themselves, and flow as they're intended to flow without pain. Please and thank you, angels. So may you find that peace and healing, Anne. Okay. Oh, Lady Silver, you did speak to Irish Granny. I'm so glad. Okay, awesome. And Charlie, Juno talked to you. Wonderful. And Eileen, you also had trouble with communication today. Okay. Well, see, this is why it's good to talk about these things, you guys, because otherwise we're in this vacuum. We're having these experiences and we don't know there's a larger significance. When we know there's a larger significance, then we can put it into context and maybe make different choices based upon what we just learned from this. So that's really important. So keep sharing. You know, for too long, when we didn't have each other, we didn't have these communities, we all just had these weird experiences and we didn't know that everybody else wasn't experiencing the same thing that we were and it was normal, or a lot of other people were experiencing it and it wasn't normal and we needed to know that. I know it's kind of a weird loop, but I hope you got the gist of it. So it's really important to share those things just to find out, is it just something specific to you that you need to deal with, or is there something greater going on so that you can address it appropriately? Debbie, you knew that there would be more messages. Oh, yeah, you were tuned in. And can you believe that message from Metatron? He's like, I, Metatron. And it was funny. I guess distinguishing himself from the two that had gone before him. But yeah, he cracked me up. Charlie, protons from solar flares affect people and planet. They can. Some people are affected and some people aren't, which is really weird. But, you know, sensitivity levels are different. So that's part of it. I think also, I've not really delved into this, but it just hit me. You know, being light workers, probably everybody here is a starseed. So because we all have different starseed backgrounds, that might also impact the way that we experience it as well. You know, like there are people from dimensions that are further away and they experience gravity on their planet differently than we do here on Earth. So for them, just being here on Earth is an odd experience, and the way that they would perceive something like that is going to be greatly different from the way somebody who maybe was closer or in this solar system would experience it. I hope that makes sense. So for Eileen, the medical test. So angels, what can you tell her about this medical test? Is it going to identify the problem? I get a positive on that, Eileen. When you go in, make sure you're holding their hands. Talk to them before you go in. Grab a hand on either side, and you can add even more. Call as many as you want. You can call the whole legion if you want. Take them all in there with you so that you crowd out all the negative energy with their energy. Let them replace it all. And only positive messages coming to you from that. Yeah, just always take your angels along. Yes, we're trying to stick to metaphysical questions. So just try to word it in a way that it's somehow metaphysical. And in that question, that's for everybody who's going in for scary tests and any kind of test, whether it's medical or something else. Just grab those angel hands. Try to get in the habit of always doing that when you feel the least little bit of trepidation or fear. Because if you grab those hands now before you dive into a bucket of fear, it's going to make all the difference in the world. First of all, you're not going to dive into the bucket of fear. The angels are going to keep you out of it. But second of all, even if you dip your toe in the fear, they're going to help you get back out of it faster so that you don't have to stay there and it does less damage to you. So it's being very vigilant, being present in the moment, noticing when you're veering off course into that fear, doubt, all of those negative emotions that pull you off your path. Sooner that you notice and take corrective action, the better and easier it is for you to get back on your path. That is true for everybody in every situation. So, Minnie, you had a reading where you ask about your birth time and you're not sure if you believe the answer, but you did get one. So, is it correct? So, the answer about Minnie G's birth time, is the answer she received correct? I get a no right away. Is it within the ballpark? Is it close? Is it more than a day off? So it's hours off? Okay. Hours off which way? Forward or backward? It's hours forward? Backward. So the time she got was later. Okay. So hopefully that gives you something to hone in on, Minnie. It was an earlier time, but it's less than a day. So it's sometime within that 24-hour period. You're close, but just needs adjusted a little bit. Lady Silver, the immigration issue, part of our nation's karma, and how can we help to clear it? Oh, gosh, let's ask. So the immigration issue of America, is that part of our karma as a country? Yes, indeed it is. And it goes way back to the founding of the country and the way that the natives were treated and the way that the slaves were treated, on down and down. You know, the non-white people, the way that they were treated, stolen from, and cheated. So that is part of our karma. And that's why it feels like it's building to this crescendo right now, because we are in that repeating pattern of history. If you've been listening to any of the astrologers, they've been talking about that for a while now, how America, you know, at the 200-year, or is it 250? I don't recall. But anyway, we're at a mark where it's like a repeating cycle. So we get to change it for the better this time, which is what we're doing here. And when we come together, we're bringing the love, the light, the intention to shift us onto that positive path. But as you see, the dark forces are doing everything they can to pull us off the path, to scare us, so that we will run and hide and disempower ourselves. And that's what we're working on right now. Don't give in to that fear. They cannot defeat us if we stand strong and we let the angels take care of the fear. It's not part of our world. We don't need it. So that's how we clear it, by writing a new record in the Akashic records. We're creating that new positive path. And that's why it takes so many of us, because it's a deeply ingrained pattern. But we can do it. That's why we came. And for many, if not all, that's a part of your pre-birth planning, that you wanted to be here to make this big course correction so that we could move into Earthtopia. That's what it's all about right now. Positive thoughts to Louisiana tropical storm Francine, predicted to grow to a strong Category 2 before landfall. So, angels, is it highly likely that Francine will be a Category 2 when it hits landfall? No, because you're going to transmute it. Okay. All right, let's all lift up our energy and call upon the angels. Please and thank you. Wrap your energy bubble around Hurricane Francine. Guide her back out to sea. Soothe and calm her so that she dissipates and eventually evaporates, causing no harm to person, beast, or land. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, do what you can, angels. They can't always change everything perfectly the way we ask, but they will do the best that they can. So, Maureen, purpose and why are you here? That's a universal question. This is the answer that they always give. I don't even have to ask them because it's written on my track here. Creator says, the prime directive, like in Star Trek, right? Where do you think that came from? The prime directive, you beautiful soul, come here to this planet, incarnating into a body. Expand your consciousness. Find what feeds your soul and do it, and have fun. That's it. That's your purpose. Now, yes, you can dive in and go deeper and deeper and deeper to figure out, a little more about what that is. But truly, doing what feeds your soul, having fun, expanding your consciousness, that's the big picture purpose for every soul alive, for every lifetime. Now, when we go into your Akashic records in a soul introduction, I can go deeper, I can investigate to find out about your gift and about your soul specialty and about your tribe, what planet you came from, to understand at an even deeper level about your purpose. But really, the prime directive is all you need to know. So I hope that helps and makes sense. HM Lab, you are so welcome. I'm so glad that you were able to be with us and that you enjoyed it. Yeah, part 2 is going to be a challenge, but we are going to do it. And I think now that we've broken the mold and figured out how to kind of structure it, part 2 and part 3 should be a lot easier. And just the energy of us stepping up with the intention to positively impact democracy in the direction that we go in this country, which of course impacts the world. Just doing that makes all the difference. It's bringing so much energy you can't even imagine. It's like putting this big old Band-Aid on the world to heal it from all the hurts. It's massive healing. So we must prevail. We must keep going. And it lifts everyone up when we come together to do this work. That's the blessing. We're all coming together, recognizing one another as divine, perfect souls. No matter whether we're in a different tribe or not, doesn't matter what this skin suit looks like. The souls, they're all the same. They're all perfect, magnificent, beautiful, resplendent. And that comes from Creator. So no matter what you or I may think of anybody else, Creator says they're perfect. They're on their path, different from yours, but it's their path. So we have to honor and allow. We don't have to engage with them, but honor and allow as we all go forward. And as we, light workers, walk on our beautiful, divine, purposeful path, we can inspire. We can role model. And when the ones who are on the dark path get a load of what we're doing and want a part of it, then they're free to join us. But until they're ready, there's nothing we can do. We just have to bless them and allow them to walk their own path. It's not our job to change their minds, to lecture them, or any of those things. Just send them love, bless them, and move along, because you don't have to engage with them if that's harmful to you. And very often it is. Linda, hey, good to see you. You are so welcome. So Alice, a message from Metatron about the important thing you need to do about spiritual growth. So for everybody, lean into your angels. Spend 2 to 5 minutes a day in meditation. That's all it takes. More is great, but if it's not part of your life and you're not used to doing it, don't get discouraged by thinking you have to do an hour or whatever you think you have to do. No, just 2 to 5 minutes where you just pause. Take a couple of deep breaths and say, hello, angels. Thank you for being there. I feel so blessed to have you nearby. Whatever you want to say to them. Your angels, your conversation. But do that at least once a day. If you can do it more often, that's better. Because the more often you reach out to connect with your angels, the sooner you will be able to actually hear what they're saying back to you. Because they are always talking back to you. You're just not hearing it. They have been talking to you your entire life, all of your lifetimes. This is the one where you're going to learn to hear them, which is what we do in the Facebook group that's based on the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. So you can find that book on Amazon if you want to join us and learn how to hear and interact with your angels. Because everybody who's done this course, designed by Metatron, has had some level of success. Some of them are astounding, the levels of connection and messages they are now channeling. So if you put in the time, if you practice, Everybody can do it. It's built in. And you know that you can do it, and here's how. I don't think I've met a single person who at least once in their lifetime has not had the experience of speaking, and then all of a sudden the words left their mouth, and in the back of their brain, they're thinking, who said that? I didn't say that. Where did those words come from? That's channeling, baby. Everybody does it, some more than others. So what happens is when you are in a space of openness, they will send those messages through you to get your attention. They will talk to you when you're in the shower, when you're in nature, when you're in the car driving, when your brain is kind of on idle, so they can get through. And at 3:30 in the morning, because that's when they can get through to you. So they're trying all the time. Those thoughts that just bounce into your brain out of nowhere, having nothing to do with what you were thinking, those are channeled messages. That is your angels trying to get your attention. So start paying attention to it. Write it down when it happens. Notice, is there a pattern? You will learn so much just by doing that little bit for yourself. And the more you do it, the more it expands. So I invite everyone, get on board, open your channel, because oh my gosh, do you need it now more than ever? It will change your life in so many sweet, wonderful ways. You will feel so blessed, so loved, because I can share these messages. I can give you the visual of Metatron walking up behind you, putting his arms around you, giving you the biggest, warmest, life-affirming hug you've ever had in your life. I can tell you all those things, but you can do it for yourself. You can have your own variations. It's available to everybody because Creator always intended for us to have a two-way dialogue. That's part of what we're doing out here. We're having these experiences as extensions of Creator, and we're feeding those experiences back like a big giant network, all being fed back to Creator, who's having those experiences through us and expanding, and at the same time expanding the collective. I hope that makes sense. But that's the bigger picture of what's going on here. So yeah, work on your communication. It will change your life. Sorry, just trying to find my place. Mountain Dancer, we are indeed helping Kamala with our energy. Yeah. Whether she feels it on a conscious level or not, it is helping. And when we ask our angels to get involved, it's helping even more. I mean, she could be floating on a veritable cloud with as much energy as we are sending to her. So it's got to have a positive impact. And of course, the other side of that, it really ticks off the dark forces. They feel it too, and it really annoys them, gets under their skin, causes them to act out against us. So when we see them showing up even angrier, lashing out, that's why. Because they're reacting to all the positive energy we're putting out. So let's put out more. Because it doesn't matter what they do. We have to stay on our path and keep sending all that energy out there to get us to Earthtopia. Debbie, you need to listen again. You liked the clutch. You know, I just thought that is the weirdest metaphor I've ever heard. And that came from Divine Feminine. I was like, are you sure that's the metaphor you want to use? But they were insistent. So I guess enough people will understand and relate to that it will make sense to them. Because it was very peculiar. But I'm glad it made sense to you. Melanie, you feel the light of this group? Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that, because that is our intention, that you feel just wrapped in the love, the acceptance of you, beautiful soul. You are so welcome, so needed and wanted in this group, and we are so happy to have you here. I think we answered that question, Eileen. If there's something I didn't answer about it, let me know below. And Melanie, you're feeling very tired. Today is off for you. So when that happens, meditation. That's almost always the answer for what ails you, because just those few minutes are life-changing. If you can spend a few more, even better. Check out my book, Little Book of Meditations, because that's specially crafted for you by Metatron. 18 meditations. They're in the book so that you can read them. so that you can absorb the message. Then there is an audio for every single one of them, and the link is in the book. You can get the audio and then just relax and listen to it, knowing what to expect and being in the flow. So highly recommended. But in the meantime, go on my channel, look for the playlist called Meditations. Might be Akashic Meditations, I don't know, but Meditations is in there. You can search for Meditations. Find the one called Vital Force Energy Infusion. When you are feeling depleted, you need a boost. That's the one to do it. It's going to fill your vessel to overflowing. It's going to rejuvenate, regenerate. It's hard to put it into words what that meditation does. It's divine and beautiful, just what you need. So use it as often as you need. We have these tools the angels have given us. So we are wise to use those tools rather than to allow things like being depleted to get in our way, because we have so much work to do. So Eileen is saying there's a G2 geomagnetic storm hitting Earth tomorrow. Interesting. Yeah, they were talking about specifically a 9-9 portal. I don't know if it's just because of the repeating number that they're coming up with that. Maybe they're just talking to different guides than I am. I know I had somebody write me today, and they told me what they're seeing, and the Mango Mussolini, as Naughty Nana calls him. If you haven't seen Naughty Nana, look her up on YouTube. She's hilarious. Also, another Canadian. She calls him Mango Mussolini. Anyway, so this person writes to me about the visions they've had about this person winning and what's going to happen and the horrific things that will happen if it goes the other way. I don't know who told them that. I'm getting an entirely different set of visions, and it's horrific if Mango wins. So I can only tell you what I get, and you have to use your discernment. What feels good, what feels loving and uplifting, that's where you want to go. And as I said to this person, have you noticed how people who support Mango are always so angry? Why are they so angry? If they're winning, why are they angry? Why are they so filled with hate and wanting to, lash out at other people? That's just not the path we're on. So that right there, I think is a good indicator. And does that person represent your values? If they do, then follow them. We're not trying to persuade anybody to change their minds about who they follow. It's follow who you feel led to follow. Who is sharing with you things that feel true, that feel uplifting, and that are about love. That's how you distinguish, because sometimes people can fool you. I have heard people who, they had a lot of messages that sounded like they were on the same track as we were, even very similar words to things that I have heard the angels say. And probably because the angels were pricking the back of my neck, I listened even closer, and then I heard messages that were, oh boy, no, this is not the direction we want to go. So a great deal of discernment is required right now. And that goes for what I'm sharing with you too. I'm not exempt from it. I could make mistakes, and you'll call me on it if I do. But those are the tools that we have, leaning into the love, leaning into our solar plexus, what feels good and what is in alignment with our values and where we want to be in the future. So hopefully that all makes sense. Mousy, you spent about 3 days sleeping. Wow. Yeah, well, if you needed it, you needed it. Honor your body and do that. That's so important. Because, when you're in a growth spurt, ascension-wise, you can really shoot up there fast. And then you do need all that extra sleep to help your body catch up. Just like when you were a kid and you were having growing pains. Ascension can be really uncomfortable and exhausting. So yeah, it's so wise. Take the time you need, sleep. The rest is so important so that you can be on top of your game and ready to be discerning about the messages, to act when you are inspired by your angels to act. So sending you lots of love and light, bursts of energy. And you might also want to try the vital force energy infusion meditation just to give yourself a boost. It will help a lot. So Deerland, you're saying proton flux was high today from the sun, and you have a weird day when that happens. Interesting. So is that because Deerland comes from a planet that is more affected by the sun than Earth? No, not in this case. You're probably from one that's in our solar system because you're feeling it. You might be one of the more highly sensitive people that are tuned in and feel those things. Some of us are less sensitive in that regard. Like, I don't usually feel those things. Others of us are wearing our protective shields, so we also are not feeling them for that reason. So you could be in any of those categories. But yeah, if you're feeling it, take notice. And if it has a deleterious effect on your body, then consider putting on a protective shield. You can do the zip up where you just, zip up your force field. You can do a peace bubble. Ask your angels to put a protective bubble around you to ask it to reflect those energies so that they don't impact your physical being and your energetic being. You could do all of that. So if you feel it, put a stop to it right away with your shield. Give that a try and see if it changes things for you. Because this is all about empowering you. We all have so many amazing tools that we haven't even figured out yet. It's like that. Do you remember that TV show? When was it? In the 80s, The Greatest American Hero, where he got this magic suit from aliens, but he lost the manual and he didn't know how to use it, so he had to figure it out as he went. It's a little bit like that. But of course, all those answers are in your Akashic records if you just want to go in there and find them, which takes practice, of course, but the answers are all there. That's our manual. That's why I called the first book The Missing Manual to You, because everything is in there explaining you to you, helping you to understand how you can counterbalance, course correct, do all of those things that you need to do to be empowered and to have a more pleasant and fun journey here on this earth. Yeah, Sherry, you've been challenged as well. The messages and energy help. Yeah, they're intended to. That's why they share them with me. They're not just for me, they're to share with everybody. So whoever has ears to hear, take them and use them in whatever way uplifts you. But also think about the protective shield. If you have a day when you get up and you're feeling especially sensitive, like, I don't know, like somebody touches you and it feels way more intrusive and heavier than it normally would, something like that. Put on your shield, whatever that means to you, and just pay attention. Does it get easier after you put the shield on? It should. And then what happens is, if it's a really intense day, the shield might erode because it's energy. So you might have to do it again. Ask your angels, do it yourself, whatever you're using, but use your tools. Put on another shield, refresh it. Keep doing that until things shift out there so that you don't have to do it again. Now, some people end up wearing them almost all the time because they are that hypersensitive and it really helps them. But the truth and the magic about that is, if you take care of yourself, you put on the shield so that you're not negatively impacted by whatever, if that energy is out there, over time, you will develop the muscles to do that without a shield. You'll just be able to do it at will, which is really cool. So that's just more of your empowerment journey, and that's important to understand. Mountain Dancer, you took a walk because it was beautiful and rejuvenated. That's wonderful. Yeah, the air, the touching of the earth, the grounding, touching the plants, the trees, even talking to them. They're listening all the time. They're talking all the time too. It's just a matter of us spending the time listening. You'll be amazed at what trees or even grass might have to say to you if you take the time to listen, which can be a lovely adventure all of itself. Hey, Gina, thanks for being here. Minnie, you are so right. It's impossible to be alone. We are never alone. No matter, sometimes we feel like we are, but we really are not, ever, ever, ever. So Eileen is saying geomagnetic storms hitting the earth. Yeah, so you sensitive ones especially, zip up or, put on the bubble, whatever you have to do. Take care of you first so that you have something to share with the world. Otherwise, you get depleted. Self-care is so very important right now. Oh, thumbs up. Thank you, Lady Silver. Hey, I'd also love it if you'd subscribe to my channel, you guys, and that way you'll get these alerts so that you'll know next time we go live. Because I might be going live more often. I just don't know what's coming through right now. There's something in the air. There's almost an urgency. And, I had been delivering messages like the one I gave earlier, recorded, but I'm feeling more and more recently that it's important to do them live so that we can interact about them and you can get answers sooner. So I just I'm along for the ride doing what I'm guided to do. So might start surprising you by showing up more often. You had a good day, Cookie. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That is wonderful. Hallelujah for you. Revel in it, and you will get more. Arlene, lower back pain from the high energy level because it feels heavy. So is it true that this heavier density energy could cause lower back pain? Absolutely. That could be one way your body reacts to it. Because the thing is, it's an involuntary reaction in the body. It's like a reflex. So if that's where you hold your stress and you feel this onslaught of energy, then that's probably what tenses up in you first. So for you, you might want to do some meditation where you focus on sending the healing, relaxing energy to your back so that it's not tight. Get it really loose and flexible. You can override those old reflexes with time and effort and ask your angels to help you with that. You could ask them to give you an early alert system, like tap me on the shoulder before the incoming happens. And when I feel you tap, I'm going to start deep breathing and relaxing my back. You could do something like that. Excuse me. It's amazing what you can do when you allow your creativity and imagination to kick in and come up with these creative ways of solving problems. Dearland, you thought you were too old to be a star seed because you come from the Debbie generation. Not at all. We're all star seeds because we've been incarnating here for many, many lifetimes. But yeah, there are some souls who started on Earth and they're still on Earth. But a majority of souls on Earth right now are star seeds. The last time I asked for a percentage, I got that it was 43% Earther. The rest are star seeds. And we came in mass numbers now, this time, because of the transformation to Earthtopia. We all knew it was going to be a big challenge, and we were so excited to be part of it because it represents the greatest opportunity for rapid spiritual expansion. So there was almost like this, race of souls to get here, to be here. If you are here now as a star seed, it's a privilege. You beat out a whole bunch of other souls who really wanted to be here. So even more reason to revel and have the full experience, not get into that fear. Just get on that jet plane with your angels and soar with love, light, and excitement, exuberance, living a life of gusto. Because, too many people are just living. They're not living with the gusto, with the joy of their beautiful soul that came here to have this expansive experience. So focus on that. Think about how you can expand your world to have that greater experience that you came here for. Because you don't want to get to the end and have regrets. So just let it all loose. Put it out there. Be more exuberant. Have more gusto, more joy, especially more joy. The angels always say we don't have enough joy and fun in our lives. So bring more in. You will be amazed at how that shifts things for you when you bring in the joy. Dearland, 5 Debbies in first grade. Yeah, I think we had 3. It was a very common name. And Eileen, you always take your angels. You're not worried. You're hopeful. And you're not letting fear in. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Do that. Interesting. So Cher wants to know, is sorrow a part of the energy right now? Or is it something we individually need to deal with? So is sorrow part of the energy? Yeah. Ooh, that one hit deep. And not just us. The angels are feeling sorrow too. It's so hard for them sometimes to watch us when we get off of our path, when we stumble, especially when we fall down the rabbit hole. So imagine the sorrow they're feeling about the ones who are walking the dark path. So they feel sorrow when we get too far off of our path and we're struggling. But they don't let that stop them. They keep doing everything they can to connect with us and help us get back on our path. So, yes, we do individually need to deal with it because that's part of being the sovereign soul. Will you surrender to the sorrow, or will you hold your angel's hands and pull yourself out of it? That's all up to you individually. I'm going to mute just for a second and blow my nose, you guys. Okay, now I can breathe a little better. Yes, that's beautiful, Lady Silver. Acadian, ask your guides to guide the doctor's hands always. Yeah. And Richard says, Hertz 174 is used for mental and physical pain. You were asking what number would be best to listen to help humans achieve their best alignment. Yeah, and they answered the question. They didn't give you an exact number, Richard, because everybody is different. I don't care what some scale tells you. Everybody is different and they will experience it differently. So it's one of those things. Yeah, take the number from the chart and try that. If that feels wonderful, great. But what if there would be one that felt even more wonderful and you didn't discover that because you took somebody's chart and you don't know who those people are? How do they know what the numbers are? Your angels know. So your body will tell you. Try them and see which one feels best to you. Don't cheat yourself out of something that might be even better. And honestly and truly, that falls into a bigger message that they've been talking about a long time. And that is, we get really hung up sometimes on doing things the perfect right way because we have this idea in our head from wherever, programming, somebody told us, who knows, that it has to be a certain way. And very often that limits us or leads us down the wrong path. It doesn't have to be any way except the way that feels best to us. So this is really an empowerment and encouragement to lean in, to listen to your body and your soul, to feel your way through to the one that resonates the most deeply with you. So I hope that makes sense. Yes, Cheryl, you can send all the energy you want. And in fact, we did in our prayer, we asked the angels to subdue, to put that protective bubble around, to soothe it, calm it, so that it dissipates. But whatever words work for you, absolutely use them. Just because we said the prayer here together doesn't mean you can't do it individually. What you don't want to do is you don't want to keep repeating it over and over. You want to say it once, let it go in faith and trust that it will be done in whatever way is for the highest and best of all concerned. There's that caveat always. Because let's say you ask the rain to stop, but somebody down the road from you really needs that rain. So you asking it to stop isn't for the highest and best for everyone. They'll find a way to mitigate, to do the best they can for you, but you're not going to get exactly what you ask for because it has a negative impact for someone else. So in this case, you put it out there, you ask for it, you allow them to do what they've got to do, trusting that they will. But if you continue to ask for the same thing over and over, you're actually sabotaging your results, because what that is doing is affirming that you don't believe that once was enough. Once is always enough. They heard you the first time. Then they go to work doing what they can to help you. If you keep bugging them by asking over and over, you are actually eroding the energy of the original request. And you don't want to do that. So I hope that makes sense. When Kamala receives the presidency, it's a huge way of making amends with karma. I don't know about making amends so much. It's writing new, hopeful karma. I suppose in some way it could be, but it's not just about her, of course. It's about the bigger package of what her victory would mean for the country and for the people, getting us back. It's like I get this picture of sending out the barges and all these people that were flailing in the water thinking they were drowning now jump on the barges, and then the people pull them in. They've been saved. They were feeling like they were going to drown. It was hopeless. And suddenly hope was brought back into their lives. So yeah, that's huge. Yeah, lots of amens, Marby. Lots and lots. Letty, why does it seem that everything is collapsing around us? Europe and South America are having political issues as well. Will the Venezuelan dictatorship fall soon? Well, it is true. It is. It's an infection that's been spread across the world. This is part of a karmic cycle playing out with 45, with Putin, and with a few other people that were involved in their past life circle. They had a massive karmic story to play out, and they were intending to do better this time, but they didn't. They repeated the old pattern, and we are all negatively impacted by it, except here's the silver lining. No matter what choices they made, even though they chose the dark ones, they still were a catalyst for change in this world because there was so much deep corruption hidden below the surface. What they came to do on a bigger level was to expose all of that corruption so that it could be transmuted so that we could get to Earthtopia. That all had to be cleaned out, cleaning out the closets, getting the skeletons out of there before we moved on to our brighter future. So even though they did it in a different way than they intended, that part of their journey was still fulfilled. Of course, we're all getting the backlash about it, but it's still happening, and on a global basis, because this is a global karmic pattern that is playing out, and a prophecy, Earthtopia, Gaia, the whole thing, whole package. So the Venezuelan dictatorship. So angels, can you tell us, is it highly likely that the Venezuelan dictatorship will fall anytime soon? Not yet. What about 2025? Oh, okay, 2025. Early in the year? Middle of the year? End of the year? So right now, the energy is in alignment for that to happen the end of 2025. Could happen sooner, but at least it's on the books. That's hopeful. Hey, Bora Bora, welcome. Glad you could be here. Let's see. Looks like I'm almost at the end of comments. Or are there more here? Let's see. Where did they go? Oh, I jumped. I guess there's a lot more here than I knew. All right. Well, let's find where we left off. Hey, you guys. Thanks for bringing all the questions. This is fun. Wow. There's a whole bunch that were hidden down there and they just all popped up. So sorry, you guys. Hang tight. I'll find where they start in a minute. Hopefully less. Wow. There we go. Okay. Now I'm back on track. Bora Bora, you're multitasking and lurking. I love multitasking. Bless your heart. Thank you for being here. Jen, have your guides visited in dreams? There's a couple of entities that appear and they seem familiar. Well, I can tell you, yes, of course they do, because they always do for everybody. But for Jen, the entities that are appearing to her seem familiar. Can you tell us who they are? They are being silly. They're saying it's angel 1 and angel 2. So what they're referring to is you have this inner circle of angels. It's usually 5 or 6. 6. I'm feeling like yours is 6. So you've got these 6. So 1 through 6, right? And they are always with you. They're always within arm's reach. Always have been, always will be. That's in addition to all the ones you have in your records that can also come when called. But these are the ones that interact with you directly all the time. When you sneeze, they are there. So it's those angels that you're seeing in your dreams. That is so funny. Thank you, Debbie. Hugs and love to you. Richard, you heard that Wednesday morning there will be a cyber attack against air traffic control and banking. Is it true, and can we stop it? Okay, so angels, is it true that there's going to be a cyber attack on the air traffic controllers Wednesday? Is that true? It's not clear. There is a plan in place, but there are those who are working to thwart it, so it might not happen at all. Right now it's in flux. So yes, we can send lots of energy that blocks it. So angels, please come together with us. All of our angels, everybody here, and any extras who want to help out. Special assignment angels, please come. Gather your energy. Focus it on the perpetrators of this planned cyber attack. Thwart their plans so that they do not cause any harm to the air traffic controllers, to the planes in the air, to the people involved, to the banks, to the financial system. Put a huge monkey wrench in their plans so that they are unsuccessful. Please cover them with divine love, light, and energy to block them from dark movements that would be harmful to the people and the earth. Please and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we are blocking it, Richard. It's like, they have those gadgets the spies use where you can block a cell signal. So it's like the angels are employing one of those blockers, an energy blocker, that's going to just cause them to trip over themselves and be unsuccessful at what they wanted to try. Mousy, you do the hugging with your late husband. That is so beautiful. I'm so glad you do that. Everybody can, but not everybody does because they feel silly or they don't believe that they can. And honestly and truly, everybody can do it. So if there's somebody you're missing on the other side, close your eyes and picture them coming up and embracing you. And they will be there. Because when you think about them, when you speak about them, they always draw near. So what if you can't see it with your physical eyes? You can see it in your imagination. And that's creating the reality. They are there. They will share their love with you. When you think about them, they're honored. They love that. So take advantage of it. Let them bring you that love and that comfort. The connection. It's important. Arlene, you were talking to your dog, asking her not to resist and go with the flow. And then you thought you should take your own advice. Isn't that funny? That happens to coaches all the time. They'll be saying something to somebody, and in their back of their head, a little angel nudge, right? Don't you think you ought to take your own advice? Yeah, happens a lot. Minnie G, a friend was being wheeled in for a mastectomy, and she was terrified. Love will prevail came out of your mouth, and now you understand. Oh, that is so beautiful. Yeah, you channeled that. That was the perfect thing to say to her at that moment. And that's how it feels. So now you know, now you have evidence. Keep looking for more. It will come. And write it down when it happens. Because you know what will happen? You will do it. You'll feel really excited and happy about it. And then you will start second guessing yourself and thinking you just made it all up. But if you write it down every time it happens like that, then you can go back and look at your journal to remind yourself of how many times it has happened and what you got was actually accurate or appropriate for the time, uplifting and perfect. And when you see that enough, that validates for you that, yeah, it really is happening. You are witnessing what you think you're witnessing. So the journal is a really important part of this. Otherwise, you forget. Yeah, Debbie, thank you. Let me just type the name of the book in there so you guys can find it if you want on Amazon. Actually, I might have a link for it. Let's see. Do I have a link for it here? Well, actually, here's a link to just my books in general. But the one you're looking for is called The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. And then the rest of the title is 21 Days of Meditation. I think that's what it is. But it's The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. So highly recommended because totally a course created by Metatron to teach you how to channel. It's astonishing. Mountain Dancer, you think that Kamala does know about the energy? She might. She has that light about her that feels like she is tuned in. So I hope she does. Mousy, your prayers for the elections are not party specific. It's what's best for the people in the country. That's perfect. Yeah, sending love and light to any situation is never a bad thing. When you don't know what else to do, that's the best you can. You get the clutch thing, Mousy? That's so funny. I think a lot of us are revealing our age, aren't we? Although I guess some people these days still like to have cars that are manual. Yeah. We're actually trying not to use that T word because we don't want to put energy and focus on that individual. We want to put it all on what we want, not what we don't want. So, yeah, we all stray there once in a while, but as much as possible, let's help each other remember not to put our focus there about what we don't want. Put all that energy on what we do, and then we charge that up instead of giving power to the other side. Yeah, Lady Silver, 9/11, of course, there's a lot of energy attached to that. It's, it's the sorrow and the tragedy of the nation. And of course, across the world, other countries in solidarity feel it as well, recognize it, just like we do their tragic dates. So, yeah, there's always a lot of energy attached to that, but we can countermand that by sending more love and light to the situation, to the loved ones who were left behind. The ones who are crossed over, they're fine. They don't need our help. They're good. It's the ones who are left behind. And those who would take advantage of that tragedy to foment more hate, we can send love to them to soften their hearts. And one day, maybe 9/11 will have a whole different meaning to it. It could be a turning point for the country where we pull away from that suspicion, hatred, and the distrust of the other. And we embrace one another because we are moving towards oneness. That's the whole point of all this. So the whole world can come together as one nation of souls, all equal, all deserving of love, and create our new beautiful world. So we can countermand the negative energy of 9/11. We can put a big, beautiful angel blanket of love over top of it to comfort all those who need comfort. Yeah, classical gas is Eileen's mood changer of choice. Yeah. I like a good Bee Gees. That brings me out of it. Boy, you just can't be depressed if you're listening to Bee Gees. At least I can't. Mimi, it feels like anger and fear draws people to 45. Yeah, absolutely it does. It's the magnet. Those speeches about I am your retribution. Yeah, that's like a siren call to all those people with their grudges. Come unto me, little children, and let me deliver to you your retribution. And why? What is it they need retribution for? That part I don't get. What are all the grievances? So we just need to keep sending more love to them to soothe their bruised and damaged psyches, their anger, to help them wake up from the fugue state that they've been in for several years now. Because what they're seeing is just not reality, at least not our reality. And Linda, there's a portal every month with energies to support the awakening, ascension of Earth and humanity. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff like that out there that not everybody knows about. So that's probably coming from some line of study that you're following. I hear about them from time to time, but I don't really know the source. And it's like, okay, if people feel it, then you take care of yourself accordingly for all of these things. But sometimes I think we cause ourselves extra problems by looking for it. If you're expecting something to come that might upset your apple cart, then it's probably going to come. So try not to engage too deeply with those kinds of things, or at least flip it so that it's a positive thing when it happens. That's important too. Lady Silver, you ask for a shield of mirrors, sending the negative energy back to the sender. Yeah. That's one way to do it, because they're getting back what they put out, which is karma. But you could also ask for it to bounce off the shield out into the ether to be transmuted to love and light by divine. And that way, it doesn't further aggravate them. They sent it out. It didn't do what it was intended to do. It didn't harm anyone. And it also got transmuted. So just another way that you might handle it. Bora Bora, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. That's what it's all about, feeling the love, the hope, being uplifted, knowing that what we're doing is really making a difference. Because, sometimes you get discouraged and you think, wow, I'm doing all this work, but it just doesn't make a hoot of difference. And it really does. Some of it's very subtle, but that's okay. It's building. It's like we're building our own mountains of massive power and love that will just blast across the galaxy and bathing our planet in love and light when it comes time for Earthtopia. Hey, Gigi, glad to see you. C'est la vie, you've been praying and asking your guides and God for more joy and fun. That's great. It appears they're sending more joy and fun because Kamala and Tim are all about joy and laughter. Yeah, isn't that just, it's a revelation to get that from politicians. It's so wonderful to see the energy coming off of them, the genuineness, the love, the respect for the people. Not saying they're perfect by any means, but it's just a refreshing breath of air. So, nighty night to Eileen. Got a shingle shot tomorrow and you're tired. Oh. So let's just send some healing energy to you that shot just processes through your body smoothly without causing a reaction. Let your body tolerate it well. So Mimi says, for those that are sensitive, consider a grounding crystal that resonates with you. You love a tumbled lodestone or black obsidian. Yeah, anything like that feels good to you. For some people, it's feathers. It can be anything at all. But those are tools that we've been given to use. That's beautiful. And Arlene, you've been meditating and focusing. Awesome. Keep doing it. Just keep repeating. And you will slowly start to feel a difference. It will have a positive impact on you. Beth, you were reading for an event and you had dark flecks fall onto the table where you were working. Nobody saw them fall, and you're not sure of the meaning. Ooh, interesting. So, can you tell us? Beth is doing this reading, and dark flecks that were visible only to her fell on the table. Can you tell us what that was about? It's a very positive thing, Beth. What they're showing me is that the energy, the love, the light, and intention that you were sending out caused the dark flecks, which would be, like gunk, right? Caused it to fall off because you provided some kind of a healing, whether it was intentional or not, you did, which allowed that excess putrid stuff to fall off. It's beautiful. And then it just transmutes and disappears. Very cool. It would be really interesting, I mean, not telling this person that exactly, but just asking them some questions about, did they notice anything? What did they feel? And then you could always later explain to them why you're asking and then see what they say to you, because sometimes you'll get it just by, cagey with your questions and probing. And then sometimes you just got to come right out and say what it is you're asking about and see what they say. But that would be fascinating to know. It's almost like a new dimension is opening for you in your work, and that was acknowledgement of it. So way cool for you. Congratulations. Hey, Michael, you are indeed here. Welcome. Oh, sorrow for the split in families. Yeah, that is part of it, Melanie. And yeah, the angels have sorrow about that too on our behalf. But again, we can address it by just putting more love and light and asking the angels to help us. And when those people are ready to wake up, release the sorrow, come back into the light, they will. And those who don't, they'll do it in another lifetime. We can't persuade them all. But the ones that we can, we'll be here for them to support them when they wake up from that fugue state and they're ready to step back into the light, to feel the love. Oh, what a glorious day that will be. Cher, you are overflowing with tears. You've had a lot of loss, but this feels different. You will hold their hands. Yeah, I'm sorry. But the thing about it is when people cross over, they don't go until their soul is ready to go. So that means if they did go, it was their time. And you can be happy for them that they were able to go in the right timing. It's just sad that they're not there for you viscerally. But knowing that you can reconnect with them anytime, hopefully that will bring you comfort and help. Now, you can go onto my other website. Go to akashaunleashed.com and click on the meditation tab. Look for Connecting with Guides. That is another divine downloaded meditation. It takes you into the Akashic records and lets you meet a guide or a lost loved one. So you can go there, you can meet them, you can touch them, you can talk to them. It's this magical, powerful meditation that almost everybody who's used it has had extraordinary results with. So do that. Bring yourself the comfort. You don't have to feel that separation. It's all there for you to reconnect. And that particular meditation can open up the channels for you to hear your angels and guides, as well as the lost loved ones. So it's a great exercise for anybody to do anyway. And it's fun. So why not? Yes, Eileen, keep sending love and calming positive white light. You can never go wrong with that. Jean, thank you. I think you're talking to me. A light in the darkness. That is the intention, and that's the mission I've been led on as a warrior for Metatron, to bring his love and light, creator's love and light, whoever else from that realm wants to share, to bring that to the world. because not everyone is able to do it for themselves yet. They will one day. But until then, I can be the bridge to help them get that information, and then to help them step up, embracing their own power, having their own conversations. Because there is just nothing like it when you connect and you have that conversation yourself. It's just so phenomenal. I want that all for you because it's life-changing. It's life-affirming. It feels wonderful. And it's there for everybody. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got 15 more minutes. I told you I'd be here for about 2 hours, so yeah, we're still going. Carl Jung believed that alchemical text referred to the psychological process of transformation as opposed to the literal transformation of metals. Was he right? Whoa, that's a big one to wrap my head around. Alchemical text referred to the psychological process of transformation. Is that true, what Jung believed, that the texts were talking about psychological transformation as opposed to literal? Psychological? Yeah, Carl was onto something. Because, it's always bigger than we think it is. And that's part of our journey of expansion, learning about the power. And sorry, there's this big fly that's suddenly buzzing my head. Anyway, it's part of our expansion into this new era of just pure love, where we change the world and ourselves. We're going to be cultivating crops of love, acceptance. And imagine where we might go when we stop with all the hate, the bigotry, and the corruption, and we just are on that positive path. Then everything opens up to us. We can transform this world, and maybe it will be a lot like it was in previous cultures, where they were working with the star families who were here, bringing advanced technologies, advanced ways of looking at things. Maybe it will be like that, or maybe even better. That's the adventure that we're on. What will it be? And we won't know till we get there, but it sure is exciting. You're in a drought in Ohio. Oh, I'm sorry. I grew up in Ohio, and I don't remember it being such a negative place. That is sorrowful, looking at where Ohio is, and such negativity from people. And they're not like that. These people were warm and loving and accepting, and it's really sad to see the impact that this wash of negative energy has had on them. So we know that will change. So let's send a blanket of love for Ohio. Let's turn up the amperage on that blanket so they feel that love all the way from their tip of their toes to the top of their head. And it causes them to pause and rethink who they are and what their values are. Helps them to get back in touch with their true soul self. Please and thank you. Lady Silver, every day you pick a card out of your deck and you ask, what do you need to know? Is that asking the same question over and over? And how can you change the wording? Not exactly. It's kind of different. So you could say, what do I need to know today? Because every day it's a different day. What is in the highest and best good for me to know today? What is it I need to know that I don't know? You can change the question if you feel like you need to, but really you don't, because each day is a new day. So that's not asking the same thing. What I was talking about is if you were to pray for Hurricane Francine to be dissipated, to be transmuted, so that it causes no damage. And if tomorrow you said that same exact prayer, that's going into the realm of doubt. Because if you believed the angels heard you and took action the first time, there's no need to repeat it. When you repeat it, it laces it with that doubt that you have to repeat it in order to be heard, or it's like you're pleading with the angels. You're a sovereign soul. They serve you. You don't have to plead for anything. You ask, and they jump into action, doing everything they can to help you, to serve you. It's not that there are servants, because we are pretty equal, but they are technically serving us. So I hope that clarifies it for you. Will Putin be defeated? So, Metatron, what can you tell us about Putin? Will he still be in power in 2025? Definitive no. Will he still be in power in December of 2024? No. November? I get a yes on November, but a no on December. So sometime in between there. Right now, the energy is moving towards something's going to take him out. No, I don't, not meaning that out like that, but not in power. It might be like that. We don't know, but yeah, something's going to happen to change his situation. It might not be defeat in the way we would consider defeat, but it will certainly be defeat to him. They just added that little tidbit, and I'm not sure what that means, but we will see. So watch for something to shift for him towards the end of November. Letty, you are so welcome. Still got a couple of minutes, so I don't know if I'll get through everybody's questions, but I will do my best. Co-hippie hiker, your current job, is it aligned? You've been trudging in the mud since you took the job in July. So for co-hippie hiker, is the job in alignment with her soul? No. And would it be optimal to find a new job? Yeah. And they're saying that's a clue to you. When you feel that way, you are out of alignment with your soul, and you don't want to be out of alignment with your soul. So the sooner you make a change, whether it's just a different position at that place or an entirely new place, different responsibilities, but something needs to shift to give you an opportunity to get back into alignment. So when you feel that kind of yucky energy, do something ASAP to change it. And it might take a few little tweaks until you figure out exactly what it is, but that's okay. You're taking the action, you're listening to your soul, and that will all stand you in good stead. So you keep doing that until you find that place where you're back in the flow again. We always want to be in flow as much as possible. Marba, you used to dream of angels and see angels, and now you don't. Why is that? So, can you help us understand, why would someone dream of and have angels around them and then they stopped? It's because of something that happened in your life that caused you to take your focus off of your soul journey and put it more on your physicality, the journey that you're having here. It's a distraction. So for you and for everybody, it's really just a matter of taking that pause, setting your intention to reconnect, and asking, dear angels, will you join me in my dreams tonight? You can do that. Or you're feeling nervous when you go to bed. One, more, whatever you want. Dear angel, will you come and stand over me while I sleep so that I can have deep, restful sleep, knowing that I will be safe until I awake? You can do all of those things. So somewhere along the way, you got distracted. Maybe your faith got a little shaken. That's kind of what it feels like. You stopped asking. Ask again. They will be there in a flash. They never went anywhere. It's just you closed the door, so you weren't hearing and seeing them. Open the door and invite them back in. It will feel wonderful. And let us know how that goes. Cheryl, they were always up for a lot of hand-holding, so we are sending you love and light. We are asking the angels to guide the hands of the technician so that you get the most perfect results for the highest and best good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Christine. I'm so glad you like the books. Mousy, you have the 21-day book. I'm so glad. So are you in the Facebook group sharing and expanding? If you're not, you should be. There's a link in the book that will take you there. It's Metatron's Meditation Challenge, I think is what it's called. Something like that. But yeah, come and join in the group, because you can share what you're going through. You can ask for help with something you're stuck on. You can hear the stories about what other people went through. And it's so affirming to hear that. It's inspiring and helps you to get further on your journey faster. Together, we can do it so much faster and better. I love that, Christine. Building a new world one thought at a time. That's perfect. Yes. All the good, uplifting thoughts. Somebody called him Mr. Potato Head earlier. Yeah, that's funny. We just need to, for all of our own best interests, try not to have negative thoughts about that individual. Try not to have any thoughts about him as much as we can, because all those thoughts just put energy into that flame and it burns more brightly. So we want to send all that energy the other way. Oh, Letty, you like the Bee Gees too. That's awesome. Staying alive. That's great. I'm kind of partial to words. I really love words. It's one of my favorites. Minnie G, will the divine feminine help to shift away from toxic masculinity? Yes, that was part of the message from tonight. So be sure you go back and hear that. Divine feminine has come forward, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times to me now. And it's all about the plan to come in and clean up the mess that the divine masculine has made. It's time for feminine to reset, clean up, and put us on a positive track. And they are very serious about doing that work. Fixing the education problem, that was one they mentioned a while back. And just cleaning up. Yeah, a new day when divine feminine steps up. And let masculine retire for a while and rest. Rethink their choices because they've been pretty toxic for a while. Melanie, your son lives near the Twin Towers. You visited and the waterfalls are beautiful and peaceful. You've meditated and prayed there and it caused tears. Yeah. There's just so much emotion attached to that memory and that sight. But now we can be happy for those souls, because know that, as I said earlier, a soul doesn't leave its body until it's ready. So when you hear the stories about the people who were supposed to be there that day, and for some reason they weren't, those are the souls who were not ready to exit yet. So something happened to prevent them from being there, which means all of those souls who perished in that tragedy were ready to go. So it was a convenient way for a large amount of souls to exit all at once. Same thing with plane crashes. You know, they wouldn't have been on the plane if they weren't ready to go. We don't know why they all chose to go then. I think a lot of souls have been exiting, especially recently, because they just don't want to be here when things get really ugly. As we move towards the prophecy, it's probably going to get uglier before it turns around. This is really our big test, is withstanding this onslaught that's happening. So we stand strong, we will get through it, and we will prevail. But nobody said it was going to be a rose garden getting there. Arlene, you feel that you're on the right track and you're hopeful. That's beautiful. You are. If that is your intention and you keep moving forward, then you are. And when you feel out of alignment, just grab those angels' hands. They will fly you right back into alignment. Feathers for you, Debbie. Yeah, I knew that. Yes, it's cool, Beth. And you got to wonder what else is out there waiting for you to discover. Mousy, blessings, love, and brightness. Got to take a nap. Sweet dreams, Mousy. Thanks for being here. Lady Silver, the energy is denser since 9/11 in New York. I think it was better for a while because we were living in Brooklyn at the time. And it was several months later, we took a trip and we were down in the Virginia area. And when people found out we were from New York, oh, they're sending us all this love. We love New Yorkers, which they never would have done before because a lot of the South really hates New York. If you've ever lived there, you know that feeling. So it was just bizarre and weird. And they did that for a while. I think it might have lasted a year, and then everybody reverted back to their tribalism again. But yeah, I was glad to move away from there. It was just not a place for me to be, not my kind of energy. So bless you for bringing your light to that area because they need more light. Antoinette, can everyone do this? Absolutely. That's what we've been talking about most of the night. And the path to hearing angels and guides will help you to get there, to speak to hear your angels or trees or grass or whatever you want to talk to. You can connect with all energy, which is really quite beautiful. It takes practice. It takes trust and faith, because your ego is going to tell you that you're making it all up, and you are not. So in the book, there are exercises. There's a special prayer to open the Akashic records, so that when you start channeling, if you do that from within the Akashic records, you can trust what you get, because it's all love, light, and truth there. No darkness. If you just start trying to channel without connecting with divine first, you don't know what you're bringing in. Like I was telling you about that guy earlier who was sharing visions that he had that were very horrific if Kamala were the victor. And it's like, I think you're plugged into the wrong end of that pipeline, because that's just not true. But I believe he's getting those visions. I just doubt the source of them. So always be careful about your source if you're going to open yourself up. So doing an opening prayer, asking your angels for help, getting into the records, those are all good things that you can do. And that's all explained in the book. Hey, Tammy from Wainwright, great to see you. Starseeds, if you want to be a light in the darkness, you are. Just beam it out there, baby. You've got it. Positive thoughts and energy for JL on the doctor's appointment tomorrow. Oh, September 11th. Yeah, so Wednesday. Yeah, Tammy, go back to the beginning, because I channeled 3 messages, one right after the other, that were given after the psychathon for us. And very important messages, so you don't want to miss those. Reiki blessings. Thank you, JL. We will accept them and appreciate them. Melanie, you've been giving to some of the charities for Ukraine, so it's helpful. Yeah, if you're new, Melanie, you probably didn't hear the message that I had about Ukraine some time back. And that is that this is karma for the people of Ukraine. Their souls agreed to be the sacrificial lambs for democracy before they incarnated. That's why this is happening to them. And that's why it's gone on far longer than what it should have. Also, of course, complicated by, the interference from the orange person who tried to stop the help getting to them and that whole team. So that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do everything we can to help them get out of this morass, to turn their world back. But it is purposeful, which is really helpful to know. And so much love and gratitude to the people of Ukraine for standing up for us, for being the sacrificial lamb. It's really incredible that they were willing to do that for all of us. You are so welcome, Beth. Hippie Hiker, you're welcome. Lady Silver, your affirmation is, I am a light in the darkness. You are so welcome. That is beautiful. Keep doing it. Blessings. Starseed says, call on Archangel Michael nighttime or anytime you need protection. It's beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Marby, you're so welcome. We'll pray for the angels. Yes. And we will send love, light, and healing energy to you, that you will be soothed into this beautiful, restful sleep where your angels will come and dance with you. And you will dance the night away in bliss. And you'll remember in the morning. That's even more important that you remember. Yes, fixing the education problem. That's a high priority. Bless your heart for being a teacher. Go Hippie Hiker. Yeah, the debate. Sending lots of positive energy that goes the right direction. And it's a breakthrough. Opens some eyes of those who have been asleep for too long. Teresa, you are so welcome for the bite size on how to connect to spirit. I'm so glad it helps. Starseed, you were in the city on 9/11. The energy was heavy for months. Yeah. It was maybe a week later that we noticed this dust on our air conditioning. And it was like a stab to the heart because we realized that was cremains that had come across the river in the air. It was a devastating day for all of us. Marby, you are so welcome. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate it. I know how busy you are. You were just a wonderful, beautiful light to be here with us. JL, you're going to invite Archangel Michael to work with you. Ambulance dispatch. Oh, yes, absolutely. And you wondered on a quiet night if he was the reason. It's quite possible. Yeah, angels can do amazing things. You are welcome, Starseed, JL. Mountain Dancer, how do you sign up for newsletter? Okay, so you go to Debbra Lupien with 2B's.com. I can't type now. DeborahLupien.com. At the top of the page and at the bottom of the page, either one, both work, to sign up for my VIP list. Then you get invited to the live events that would have a Zoom link attached to them. You get all the inside scoop because I share a lot with them that I don't share just with the public. And yeah, I would love to have you join us. That would be beautiful. Jean, you feel like you didn't really want to come here. I know people feel that way sometimes, and they even say, I'm never incarnating again. It's never true because you came with a plan. We all did, or we wouldn't be here. You really wanted to be here, and you had to, as I said earlier, to be here on Earth now as a light worker, you had to compete for it because there were so many who wanted to come. So when you feel that way, it's just a matter of doing some self-examination. What is it you want to do? And getting back on track for that so that you can live that joyful life you came here to live. We all did. We didn't come here to suffer. So when we get back in that alignment, we put more of that joy out there. It's contagious. It will call more people in. It will help them to expand into love and light. We can all have so much fun together and create miracles when we join together with that knowledge and with that intention. And with that, we need to wind down because my husband is letting me know that it's past time. Antoinette, you came late. You can listen to the replay. It's going to be here. The name of the book is The Path to Hearing, Guides, and Angels. I'll give you a link. You can find all my books on Amazon at this link. But The Path to Hearing, Guides, and Angels is the one that helps you learn to channel, to hear your angels, which is the greatest blessing. It opens up so much, opens up your heart. It's so beautiful when you connect with them. Starseeds, you are a psychic medium. Can you help others by channeling from the Akasha? You channel regularly. Absolutely. Everybody can. If you can access the records, then why wouldn't you? They are so amazing. There's so much there for you. And your experience will be different from somebody else's experience because we're all wired differently. And I've also noticed that the prayer that I use to go into the records somehow changes the results that I get. So if I go in this one door, I get a certain kind of a message. If I go in another door, I get a different kind of a message. So play with that. Be playful with the records. They'll be playful with you. And see what you get, how you feel. Write it all down so that you can recreate it. You will find your way and ask your angels to help you with that, to find the perfect door for you to go in. It reminds me of the Lily Tomlin skit where she was the operator and she's plugging in those things to the old switchboard. So I see the records kind of like that. Depending on which plug you use, you get a different kind of message. So be playful and have fun with it. And let us know how it goes. Raquel, I'm so glad you found us. Thanks for being here. Please go back and watch the replay because there are channeled messages at the beginning that are very impactful. I think you will really appreciate them. You are so welcome, Marby. Lady Silver. Thank you for subbing. I really appreciate that. That helps me to get these uplifting messages out to more people. And that's my purpose, to do that. So you're helping me to live my purpose when you share and when you subscribe and hit the like button. I deeply appreciate the assist. Share spirit. It's been beautiful and beneficial, a healing balm. Good night, beautiful humans. Blessings. You're going straight to the Akashic released meditations. Oh, that's beautiful. Go. And for the newbies who don't know what she's talking about, if you go to akashaunleashed.com, the meditations tab, there are several meditations there for you. One of them is connecting with guides. That one takes you right into the records. It's intended that it do that. And in the records, you can either meet your angels, your guides, or departed loved ones. It's a magical, angel-inspired meditation that I get raves from people about how wonderful it is. And thank you, angels, because they sent it. So please use it. That's what it's for. Light, love, and Reiki blessings. Thank you, JL. Accepted and appreciated. You're welcome, Melanie. Marby, you love dancing after class on Thursday. It's like therapy. In YouTube, too. Beautiful. Yeah, so I'm seeing you dancing with those angels tonight. And they do like to do fun things like the cha-cha. I don't know if you do, but hey, have fun. Do whatever kind of dance you want. Yes, keep your light burning brightly. Good night for everybody. Keep your light burning bright. It's so important right now. And starseeds, when you were a child, you used to walk around feeling like you was dropped off here and they forgot to come pick you up. Oh, I'm sorry. I know it feels that way, especially certain planets. The starseeds from those planets have that experience because this is just so different. But just know you came here purposefully. There is a reason, and it's just take your time, feel your way through it, and figure out why you're here. Once you do that, then you can tap into the joy, the reason, and doing what feeds your soul, and it will change your life in ways you can't even imagine. It's so marvelous. I need to get off of here, you guys. Thank you, Letty, for the thumbs up. Starseed, thank you very much for being here. And please come back. We love having you. Your husband is a Sam. That's beautiful. Marby. Joy, thank you for being here. You turned in late, but you'll check out the book. It's no mistake you're here. No. We are all brought together to support one another because it's so important right now. So with that, all right, Mimi, I'm going to read your message, and then I'm going to stop looking at messages. You're going back to the beginning to listen to the messages. Calm energies for everybody. Thank you. That is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do a quick little prayer just to bring the energy down to send you off with that beautiful angel energy. So just close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Divine angels, light beings, masters, teachers, creator, Metatron, Raziel, divine feminine, thank you for being with us tonight, for bringing this beautiful energy to uplift us, to give us hope and faith that we can prevail. We can transform this world to Earthtopia. It is coming. We know it. We believe it. We accept it. We claim it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For all of you gathered here, sending a massive sonic boom of love and light to you, to encircle you, to lift you up, to fill you with that love that you can share with others, being that bright light that you came here to be. So we will see you all here soon. Third Saturday of the month is when I do Ask Your Guides. So get on my mailing list so you can come to that. Much love and light to all of you. Have a wonderful evening. Mwah! Love and light. Bye, everybody.